Okay, today we're going to look at facial proportions. We've already looked at doing the parts of the eye and all the facial features, so now we're going to put all of that together. There is a formula that I use, and I know everybody has their own way of doing facial proportions, but this is the method I use, is that I start off drawing my basic face shape. And I know it's a little squarish, but I'll fix it a little bit later. This is just to give you a basic idea of how I do my facial features. Now, I just kind of adjust the face shape till I'm happy with it. Now the next thing is that I want to work always from the top of the head to the bottom of the chin. When I say the top of the head, I mean the very tip top, not the hairline. Make sure you're going directly from the top of the head, and I move my fingers to go right in the middle and I place a mark. That's where my eyes are going to be. Then I do that again from the eyes to the bottom of the chin and meet halfway, and that's where my nose should be. And I do it again, and that's where my lips should be. Now, I kind of call it the half thing because I measure from the top of the head to the bottom of the chin, and I place my mark halfway. That is your eye placement. And again, it's just basic because you need to make sure that if you're doing an actual portrait that you do these things according to the person that you're drawing. So some people's eye placement may be a touch higher or a touch lower or different than this basic formula. So always go by with who you're working with. The next thing is I go from where the eyes are, the eye placement, to the bottom of the chin, and I move my fingers in to measure halfway again, and that's where I place the tip of my nose. Now remember, again, this is just a basic guideline. And the next thing, I take from the bottom of the nose to the bottom of the chin, and I go halfway again, and that is where my lips will be placed. So now I have the basic idea of where they go. Now I'm going to have to draw out those facial features. So here we're going to start with the eyes. Now when we work with the eyes, they should be 5 eye widths apart from temple to temple. So I want to go ahead and kind of guesstimate how big I'm going to draw my eye. So I want to go from right about there and draw my eye shape just to get an idea. Now I take my pencil and I kind of measure, put the point of my pencil, and I hold my fingers where the other edge of the eye is. And then I measure from the temple to the edge of the eye to see if it's the right size. And this one works out good. Now, the next one, I go from the inside edge of that eye over to the other eye. And that's where I place my mark. Put my finger there, and now I'm going to mark the other side. And again, this is basic. If you make a mistake, that's what we got erasers for. So I go ahead and place my eye, but now I can see that that one's a little bit too big, so I'm going to have to adjust that. Then I come back in, I'll remeasure it, and now that looks just about right. So I'm going to come back over. I know where my eyes are. I know the basic width of the face. according to the eye proportion. Now the next thing I'm going to do is again measure from my eyes to my bottom of my chin and go about halfway again, and I measure just to double check, and that's where my nose is going to go. So I go ahead and double check again and start to do the placement of my nose. Now one little trick on this is that the inside corner of the eyes, your nose should be as wide as the inside corner of your eyes. So you can use that as a guideline. Then I go from the bottom of my nose to the bottom of my chin, and again that's where my lips will go. So I go ahead and I draw out my lips. Now another trick on this one is if you're looking straight forward, the edge of your lips should be right in line with the pupil of your eyes if you're looking straight forward. So I can draw my little dashed line or eyeball it, and that's about how wide my lips should go, the edge of my lips. So I'm going to go ahead and fix that. That's pretty close. So I'm going to fix that. And there's my basic facial proportions with the eyes, the nose, and the lips. Now, make any adjustments that you feel you need to get comfortable with your drawing. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to check where the edge of my eye is, and I'm going to put a mark there, and the bottom of my nose, I'm going to put a mark right there on the side of my face so I can see where my ear placement should go. And that's how wide your ears should be. Maybe I should say how high, but that's how your ears should be. From the edge of your eye, the corner of your eye, to the bottom of your nose. So again, basic guidelines always go by what portrait you're drawing of what person. Now, I'm going to show you how much of a difference it makes to kind of do a hairline, because I know my basic face shape was a little squared off, but now you can start to see how it comes together. Because right now it may feel like it's a little off because of where the face is, and it may feel like everything's way too high. But once you add the hair and the hairline, you'll see how it starts to make sense. And here's your basic facial proportions, and now it's your turn to try to put together a portrait.